The passage I'm reading is from Old Yeller by Fred Gipson. I waited, my nerves on edge, while Old Yeller and the big wolf fought there in the firelight, whirling and leaping and snarling and slashing, their barred fangs gleaming white as their eyes burning green on the half-light. Then they went down on a tumbling roll that stopped with a big wolf on top, his huge jaws shut tight on Yeller's throat. That was my chance, the one and that I'd better make good. As weak as Old Yeller was, he'd never break that throat hold. There in the wavering light, I couldn't get a true beat on the wolf. I couldn't see my sights well enough. All I could do was guess aim and hope for a hit. I squeezed the trigger. The gun stock slammed back against my shoulder. Such a strong streak of fire sprouted from the gun barrel that it blinded me for a second. I couldn't see a thing. Then I realized that all the growling and snarling had hushed. A second later, I was running towards two still gray forms laying side by side. For a second, I just knew that I'd killed Old Yeller, too. Then, about that time, I bent over him. He heaved a big sort of sigh and struggled up to start licking my hands and waggled that stub tail. I was so relieved that it seemed like all the strength had went out of me. I slumped to the ground and was sitting there shivering when Mama came and sat down beside me. She put one arm across my shoulders and held it there while she told me what had happened. Like I figured, it had taken her and Elizabeth till dark to get the wood dragged up to the fire to go around that dead cow. Then they mounted old Jumper and headed for home. They'd been without water all this time and were thirsty. When they came to the crossing at Birdsong Creek, they dismounted to get a drink. And while they were laying down, drinking, the wolf came. He was right on them before they knew it. Mama happened to look up and see the dark hulk of him coming bounding across a little clearing. He was snarling as he came, and Mama just barely had enough time to come to her feet and grab up a dead chinnaberry pole before he sprang. She whacked him hard across the head and knocking him to the ground. Then Old Yeller was there, trying into him. Mama and Elizabeth got back on Jumper and tore out for the house. Right after them came the wolf, like he had his mind fixed on catching them, and nothing else. But Old Yeller fought him hard and too fast. Yeller wasn't big and strong enough to stop him, but he kept him slowed down and fought away from Jumper, Mama, and Elizabeth. He had to have been mad, son, Mama wound up. You know that a wolf in his right senses wouldn't have acted that way. Not even a big loafer wolf. Yes'm, I said. And it's sure a good thing Old Yeller was there along to keep him fought off. I shuddered at the thought of what could have happened without Old Yeller. Mama waited a little bit, and then she said in a quiet voice, "It was a good thing for us, son, but it wasn't good for Old Yeller." The way she said that gave me a cold feeling in the pit of my stomach. I sat up straighter. "What do you mean?" I said. "Old Yeller's all right. He's maybe chewed up some, but he can't be hurt bad. See, he's done trotted off towards the house." Then it hit me what Mama was getting at, and my insides froze. I couldn't get my breath. I jumped to my feet, wild and hurt and scared. "But Mama," I cried out, "Old Yeller just saved your life. He saved my life. He saved little Arliss' life. We can't." Mama got up and put her arms across my shoulders again. "I know, son," she said, "but he's been bitten by a mad wolf." I started off into the blackness of the night while my mind wheeled and darted this way and that way, like a scared rat trying to find its way out of a trap. "But Mama," I said, "we don't know for certain. We could wait and see. We could tie him or shut him up in the corn crib or some place till we know for sure." Mama broke down and went to crying then. She put her head on my shoulder and told me to go tight, that she was nearly choked off my breath. "We can't take a chance, son," she sobbed. "It would be me or you or little Arliss or Elizabeth next. I'll shoot him if you can't, but either way, we've got to do it. We just can't take the chance." It came clear to me then that Mama was right. We couldn't take the risk, and from everything I'd heard, I knew that there was still a little chance of Old Yeller escaping the sickness. It was going to kill something inside me to do it, but I knew then that I had to shoot my big yeller dog. Once I knew for sure that I had to do it, I don't think I really felt anything. I was just numb all over, like a dead man walking. Quickly I left Mama and went to stand in the light of the burning bear grass. I reloaded my gun and called Old Yeller back from the house. I stuck the muzzle of the gun against his head and I pulled the trigger.